I've been thinking about what my favorite video game is, and I think it has to be somewhere between Mario and Sonic. It has to be one of these because I think even though they are sort of considered and seen together as this sort of marketing rivalry from the 90s, or just in modern ways as popular mascots that don't really have that much to do with each other outside of like the genres that they touch on, which is platforming. There's actually a lot more to it, in my opinion, that makes them pretty much the two, if not some of the two most interesting video games ever when having them next to each other. Mario was created by Nintendo, directed by Shigeru Miyamoto, and all that. You all know the story. What's important about Mario is that design-wise, and this isn't necessarily just something that Miyamoto and his team and Nintendo decided that they were finally going to implement into video games, because as we all know, video games had been going around for like a decade or so, or probably more at that point, and people had definitely made good video games that had good design and had like really smart ways of being designed and stuff like that. What Mario did is that it kind of like popularized it and revolutionized it in having it be a very linear experience, in a very purposeful, directed experience. You enter World 1-1, and it's a meticulously designed course of flavors. A course of flavors is a good way to describe it, I think, because it slowly tells you what the entirety of the game is going to be. It's very meticulous in what it wants to show you, what it doesn't want to show you, when it shows it to you, how it shows it to you, and it's basically such a perfect formula that you could create an entire industry around it. And that's basically what happened. Is that after the original Mario, you'd be hard pressed to find many games that don't very closely follow its overall dogma of introducing things slowly at a digestible pace, with like a similar overall like structure. It basically is like the backbone of the modern video game industry in many ways. And I think most fans also know this, but they don't know, they feel it, but they don't know it, which is why Yuji Naka, creator of Sonic, is such a controversial figure. And this brings us to Sonic, which is I think also sort of like a miracle game overall, because if we look at Sonic's version of 1-1, which is Green Hill Zone, we don't see any of those ideas that 1-1 has. We don't really see that many ideas from Mario 1, other than the fact that it's a platforming game. The way the story, the way the design and the level design and the interaction with the player is delivered is very chaotic, very overwhelming, I would describe it. It's completely almost like the opposite way to deliver these design ideas and these ideas overall to what Mario and Nintendo was trying to do. And this is something that Yuji Naka has sort of prided himself through his entire career. He's a very like unorthodox designer. He's a very strange sort of designer and director when it comes to video games, and it's something that some people seem to gravitate towards. Not a lot of people can explain why, but it sort of like clicks with them. But to a lot of people, it seems weird. It seems odd because it is very much a complete opposite of what Nintendo and Miyamoto were trying to make with Mario. It's just like a very overwhelming, layered, expects you to play it multiple times to even know what you did. There's almost like the beautiful meme of beautifully classic meme of the person that's playing Sonic for the first time, and they're trying to go up a hill and they just don't understand. Sonic asks you to sort of solve a lot of little logical questions from the get-go that, Mario just doesn't seem that interested to put forward in that way. It definitely asks those questions, but they're very simple. They're very like almost binary. Mario asking those questions. You see an enemy, you jump on it. This kills the enemy. You see a block, you jump on it. It gives you a coin. Where Sonic, the logical questions are almost like physics based. Like, how do you go up a hill? Well, if you're Sonic, you could just like crawl your way up and like fight this like gravity, or you could like get like creative with it. You could like go out and try to find speed some other way. You could that's basically it, really. Trying to like fight the engine, this beautiful engine that Yuji Naka coded or was a big part of coding. And it asks you to solve this question of like how to do this thing with this engine in this physics-based way, which is again completely different from the very meticulous, again, binary way that Mario kind of asks you to tackle its like design and its level design problems. So yeah, I just want to talk about that. Those two games are equally amazing in my eyes. Those two series overall, the Mario series and the Sonic series, especially the 2D games of both, because they're very beautifully opposites, not only in what they were at the time, but in their design ideologies and in just like the strange ways that they've sort of shaped the industry of design.